You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.
And we are biggity back on Kicking It Radio, all new 92 KELZ, the home of new music, new artists, new sound. It is your girl, Hey Charlie.
And your boy, G Casso.
And we have someone special with us today. We have the one and only Cobb from My Ox to Yours. How are you?
How y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me.
We're all right.
So glad to have you with us. A fellow brother in the media and entertainment world.
Indeed. Right. This has been a long time coming though. You know what I mean? Since Twitter.
Hey, definitely though. Definitely.
shout out to the homeboy Mackie. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that is exactly okay. So for people that don't know. We also want to give a shout out to Sunday Music Study.
Definitely,
on
big shout out.
They come on Sundays with Yeti and Mac. Mac is the reason why Cobb and I met.
Indeed.
He is in the process of filming a documentary about relationships and love. Because, you know, that's what men do when they need to self-express themselves.
I got something for you to read after this. It's going to be like, okay, bet. And I can see Mackie doing it. Like, yo. Mackie's my guy, bro. Ever since that brunch, we are.
I know. It's great when you have like people that bring you together, like-minded people.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't know when we were doing the filming that you had a show.
Oh yeah, like I've been doing the show at 90.1 KPFT for like I think 2 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 2 years now. And then I have another podcast and stuff like that. I'm kind of on my content wave right now.
Okay.
Just trying to push stuff out.
So was that like your thing to do? Like, did you know, like, hey, I'm finna end up in radio when I get up?
You know what? I really was just in a very bad relationship.
Oh,
and it'll do that too.
What did I tell you?
Right.
I was in a bad relationship and I was lost. And I knew I wanted to do radio because I had been throwing parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to do radio, but I didn't want to be on the mic. I wanted to be behind the scenes. Yeah. So I got a job at a radio station in Denver, 107.5. Mm. And that was a part-time gig, and I had to start DJing to pay the rent. And I was in Denver for like a year and a half. And so I started DJing, like just taught myself how to DJ off of YouTube. Yeah. And used the equipment at the radio station and just was trying to figure it out.
Wait, are you from? Okay, hold on.
Pause.
I was about to say, because I think we were like in the same vein.
Because I'm just like, wait a minute. Because we all know first of all, how hard it is just to get into the radio station. So for you not to know anything, be like, yeah, I did YouTube, but then I was just at the radio station DJ. But you had to know somebody.
So I literally didn't know anybody.
Well, that was God.
It was a random, like I was in a bad relationship, and I was trying to save the relationship because at the time, like I was lost. I wasn't, I was finding myself as a man, and
I'm glad you said. Hey, man, give me some. I'm glad he said that. Because I need y'all to know that, hey, we actually take time to reflect.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Of course, you have to. And, I remember when I told her about the job, like, I was like, I'm going to take this job in Denver, but I'm going to send rent money back, and I'm going to be back and forth. And she was like, you might as well stay in Denver, because if you come back, I'm not going to be here.
So, wait a minute. So, you was broke, and you still was like, I'm going to let you know, I'm going to get this right. And she still was
I'm finna handle my responsibilities.
And you
for sure,
still,
you know what I mean?
Oh, boy, that's
it was
hard.
a no-go.
Yeah,
And so I went to Denver, heartbroken.
Wow.
And just started connecting, moving around in Denver. Came back to Houston, and I was working at this daiquiri shop called Eskimo Hut off of Beach Nut. And honestly, that year and a half was like the craziest year of my life. Like, it was just crazy. And somebody, one of the customers was like, yo, you should do radio. And I was like, I don't really, like, radio not my thing. Like, I don't want to be on the mic at all. And he was like, nah, you should be on the radio. And he ended up hitting me up, and he was producing a show at 90.1 KPFT. And then I went on the show, and he wanted me to be a co-host. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, the show is yours after the first day. And
that's dope. That's a great success
That's like
story,
a divine situation.
Yo,
it's
for
like,
real though.
You went on the Eat, Pray, Love moment. Like, I want to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about that later. So Are you from Houston, Texas? Can
Yeah,
you give us a little background on who you are?
Yeah.
So I'm from Houston, Texas. I started early childhood in Third Ward. Early childhood in Third Ward. My family's based out of Northside Studewood.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I always moved around due to the fact that like I was smart in school.
Yeah.
Played football. Went to college. That didn't work out. But yeah, you know what I mean? I just always been like I guess a people person.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of like an extroverted introvert. If that even
That
makes
I'm the
sense.
same
That
way.
is so me.
I'm me.
It's like I
That's
give
me.
you all my
Yeah.
energy, but that's way too much, so I got to get back to
Nah.
myself.
And so like, and like music has always been my thing. Like my uncle literally has like a wall, like a room of CDs.
Yeah.
And he used to get mad at me all the time because I would just go in there and just start picking out CDs, sit there, listen to them. And he would have them organized, and he would get mad at me and would make me reorganize everything alphabetically.
What? Were they like organized by genres too?
Yeah, by genres and everything.
That's what's
and
up.
then like he would have, there would be some CDs on the wall, and then he would have like these, you know, those tablets that we used to have.
Yeah.
He would have like stacks and stacks of those, and then he found a hard drive, and then he would make me burn the CD and rip the CDs to the hard drive.
You talk about I don't even want to go over there no more because I already know
And
what's
so,
The
like,
price to listen to his music.
Like, and this is how I started to get into music, and like, you know, I remember like one of the first eras I ever like kind of studied was like the R&B sound from Philadelphia, and I was just like, yo, this is amazing,
Man.
and it just started from there.
That's
and
crazy.
like at Eskimo Hood, that's how I got the name Oxcore Whisperer, because I wasn't really talking to everybody, but I would put these playlists together and they would jam.
Yo.
So
You're going to keep it on him. We're going to make sure he produce all the playlists.
Right?
Yeah, and
he
they was
like,
just like,
he a little weird, but we like him. He plays
The
some good
Christmas
music.
parties on him.
Like,
Wait, but when you were DJing, was that were you just playing like you just had a playlist and you were like, here, I'm play this?
No, so
you
like
actually like mix.
Like I actually like had to learn how to beat match, mix, blend, transitions.
How long did
all
that
of
take you to do?
It took me like I want to say probably 3 months total because it was leading up to Denver, like to me leaving for Denver.
Yeah.
And like I pretty much I used to be in the band like through elementary and some in middle school, so I kind of had some knowledge of like music and song structure and stuff like that, and I just started like just figuring it out. And I like I said, I've been putting music together for so long, and like making and burning CDs because that was another thing. That was my hustle in high school. Putting a CD together, a burn CD.
When they first came out, that $5
Wait.
was. Hey, you
Like
was,
y'all was talking
Were
about.
you doing the breakup tracks?
Y'all was
too?
talking about the To You From Me. Oh, that came with a CD from me.
What?
Hey, that
I
CD
mean
burning stage was a
but
big
that
one.
works. That's like a greeting card. Every song you saying something different.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
You know,
And
I
then-
need love. You know,
There was this one that like some of the homies still have to this day, and it was like a drop the draws mix, but it was really like the beginning of a relationship to the breakup to the get back. Like getting back together, and it was like 15 songs, and it took you through that whole thing.
the
And
way
it was like
soundtracks to a movie does.
Yeah, like it was like Luther Vandross and all kind of stuff.
They
and I
used
was
to be
like,
doing a lot in songs, man. I'm talking about begging. That's what you talking
What?
about coming back.
Crooning is a thing that we have lost. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to
People
figure out
like
who
Trey
don't-
tried to bring it back, but
Nah.
he cries. You got to croon to be successful. To be a successful R&B male singer, you got to learn how to croon. And for those that don't know what crooning is,
Yeah, put them on some. Put them on some.
crooning essentially is just you got to finesse the mic
finesse for sure.
and bring an emotion that only your voice, your tone,
no
your lyrics
words, no
can-
words, really. Just
Really, it's just like it's a
That-
mood. Like
that aura.
Luther
You gotta have that aura.
set a whole vibe for people. I'm trying to think of somebody like now that is a good crooner.
Chris Brown.
I ain't even gonna
This
lie.
dude, Nick said R. Kelly. No, Nick.
Hey,
I
Chris
ain't
Brown,
even
believe it
lie.
or not, I still say Chris Brown.
No, he don't set
Future
nothing for
crooning
me.
is amazing to me.
Wait, Future?
Yeah, Future, his crooning
Wait,
is
did you
amazing.
just say Future croons?
Because
Yeah,
it's to a
see,
certain genre. It's not for, but it's
Nah, but Future does some crooning like
What?
My Collection. That was a slight croon.
Tank.
Turn on the lights. Oh, he
Tank.
was crooning in that thing.
Tank croons.
Tank definitely crumbs, but we Tank.
We can't.
Tank
We
is
don't
first
really.
of all,
We don't even
Tank
know
is
who
done.
Tank talking to really.
Whoa, hold up. No.
Tank is done to
He
me.
made one statement.
It's done to me right now. Tank is done.
It doesn't.
Yeah, he did
Tank
it to
was.
himself.
That is like, okay.
He did it to himself.
Man, Tank did have to take an L, but I think he was just trying to represent
Nah, B.
a group of people that aren't.
I mean,
I'm gonna let it go.
fluidity. I guess.
I don't understand how
Who else croons?
that came to girls.
LL was a crooner.
He was.
I don't know. Lucky Day kind of croons a little bit.
Lucky croons, but I don't like Lucky Day's voice too much.
For real.
It's just.
What about PJ Morton?
PJ? PJ is big. PJ is a pastor. Okay, PJ is like his daddy.
That gumbo, like that still plays to this day.
Yo.
Forever.
But it's before Gumbo.
And then the unplugged.
Yeah, no.
Bananas.
Nah, he in a whole new vibe. That man.
Oh, Eric Bellinger for sure.
Is a crooner?
He's definitely a crooner.
Yeah, he's definitely a crooner. I'm trying to think.
And Sammy.
Frank Ocean was a crooner too. He wasn't crooning for y'all.
And they still
for
want him
us.
back.
He was crooning for y'all, but
The fact that he still has that much power right now, he ain't dropped nothing.
Nothing.
who, Frank?
Yes.
Hey, you
'Cause
know,
he was
you know
great.
you're a good songwriter when I could really just jam Forrest Gump
Yeah.
and just really not care.
Like it's nowhere.
You just forget all your sexuality. Be
Yo,
like, you know
I'm
what?
sorry, bro.
You know
Like,
what?
This
how
is for me.
can? Yo, I'm sorry. When he came in, y'all, I was like, yo, did anybody ever tell you like you look like Ha Ha Davis? Like, and he was so. I was like, yo,
It's either Ha Ha Davis or Ryan Davis.
Oh my God! He
Man.
literally said that before. Why you got?
and all
you had
his
to
like
just-
replies and everything is just the same. Like you don't know, like, okay, is he finna chop me up or is he finna just give me something straight off, some straight knowledge? I'm talking about like straight up, like be goofy and just get you. Like,
No, he will. He's
I know.
very in depth with his emotions, and
Indeed,
he
for
will
sure.
come for you very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very on his toes.
hey, that's
For sure,
everybody.
for
You
sure.
gotta be, especially in this industry.
Yeah. So with being in the media industry, what challenges are you seeing as far as making this like a full-time thing? Because you're on how often?
Every Tuesday.
Okay.
And like I said, I had a podcast. I'm actually like in the midst of like forming a podcast network also. So I say one of the challenges is that people like to do things kind of like the old way.
Yeah.
But we're in an era right now where like nobody's ever done any of the things we're trying to do before.
Yeah.
So your rules that you've been working on don't apply. And so what I need you to do is I need you to step aside rather than me chop your head off.
What? Are you trying to get rid of the OGs
But see,
But
like,
look,
the
though,
thing is, I'm not a person that
I
like.
feel that.
I like to sit at the feet of elders all the time.
I
Like,
feel that what
I
he's
love
saying.
to chop up game with the OGs, but there's some OGs who just got fat, and you got fat while everybody starved, and now
If it's not that, it's they already have the platform, the resources, and everything to do everything already as it is, right?
Yeah.
So they already can see the overhead of everything. So it's just like saying his show's coming up. They look down and see what it is, and then they hop on the wave and get it. And it seems like they started when you the whole time.
the whole
Now
time.
you can't even
Yeah.
get all the way to the top because you got cut
and it's
off at
kind
the
of like
legs.
it's
You
kind of
know what
like,
I mean?
hey, like I need you to take a step back. I'm going to take a step forward,
Yeah.
and then once we reach the top together, then I'm going to say, hey, this was the OG that was behind me the whole way.
I think if there was more, because we talk about the reach back a lot,
lot.
how you go back into your community and you pull someone up with you, show them the ropes. There's not enough of that when it comes to, first of all, music. And we've had this discussion.
Yeah,
Music,
for real.
there's not enough of that, especially when it comes to radio. There's very few people who are willing to share the wealth. And I'm not gonna say that because I always get in trouble for talking about Houston, Texas. But it's very prevalent
I can
in
talk
the
about
city
it.
that I live in, where my area code is. But I feel that, like you said, there is a new way that's coming, but there are some essentials because there's people everywhere with the podcast.
Yeah,
Everybody
everywhere.
everywhere trying to be on and be heard. But how do you know when to present certain content and when not to?
That's a good question.
And see, like, and that's the thing is like I kind of when it comes to content, then I'm sort of like a traditionalist.
Yeah.
But like the rollout of that content, how that content is going to be displayed, like chopping it up and putting it here but not putting it here, and trying to get people from this area to come from this app to jump apps, and like we dealing with a whole different thing here.
We really are. It's not just turn my station because they're on break now.
Yeah.
It's like, nah,
Like,
I'm not vibing with you.
I'm trying to get you from one app literally to the next app, literally to the next app.
Trying to get you to follow me on social media,
You know what I'm
get
saying?
on my YouTube.
And see, even like for me, one of my biggest things is like to get away from social media. So like I need just to centralize all content. That's what I'm trying to do. Because
You trying to get away from social media in what way? What do you mean?
Yeah.
well, as I still want to do social media as a form of promotion for content, but actually having my content and holding it on social media, I don't want to do that.
I'm the
you
same
trying to get
way.
back more like to the DVD era.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's just so hard because technology is going away from all the old traditional
But see,
things.
I have a thing with an app because I remember at one point in time, somebody gonna take this, but they can have it.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything is protected here.
You know what I'm saying?
Intellectual property. We don't play. We will sue you. I'm
So
joking.
like,
all the way.
I told a homie like, what if you just ran a record label from the app? Like you have no overhead, you have no office space. So once you do all the ASCAP paperwork, all the LLC paperwork, all of that, you just run it from the app.
Yeah.
And so you go to your social media and you say, hey, I'm dropping an album. I'm going to need you to download this app. And then you go from one artist to the next artist to the next artist. And all of their music is held on this app. And it's not on Apple Music. It's not anywhere else.
Just on the app.
It's just on this app. And so, therefore, I can monetize it. If I want to let people have it for free, you could go get my singles. You could go get my merch. You can do all of that. And at the same time, you're signing up, and I'm getting that information based on how much you spent, yada, yada, yada.
But didn't we see
it's like
that
a
with
backdoor to
Tidal?
a streaming service, pretty much.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but you just creating your own streaming
Yeah,
service.
like you was saying.
But didn't we see that with Tidal? And it was a great wave because everybody wanted Beyonce's album.
It was only on Spring.
But then I don't know.
But
It was like specific to network.
imagine if you could get.
I thought it was
Imagine if a Houston artist who has a small following to maybe 10,000.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could get 1,000 people to spend $50.
See, that's exactly how I think. Like when I say that exact I try to break everything down to the simplest term.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I told Charmaine about this before. I was like, think about like a 50 cent scheme. If you just got 50 cents from everybody in the world, like people throw 2 quarters out the window every day. Like you really can. Anybody can spare
Pennies for days.
Like just imagine if you asked 1 million people for 50 cents.
Because my thing is I can't leave the house and spend less than $50 a day.
You can't leave the house without spending money. Period.
Yeah, so like
It's
it's
gonna happen.
$50 a day. Like for me to live and just leave the house and just.
So is that
function.
eating or is that gas and everything?
It's just like eating, gas. You got the.
That's about the right number.
Yeah, you know what I'm
For
saying?
everybody. That's the right
It's
number.
about $50.
Random shopping throughout the day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and this is where the conversation comes back to getting the message out there. So social media is the quickest and easiest way to spread the message on multiple platforms to different demographics. So how would you do one? Would you do one without the other? Are you going to have one complementing the other?
So I still think, and it's just me from.
I mean, word of mouth is still number one.
Like and it's just
definitely.
giving people like an actual moment. So yes, we talk about things that happen on social media and we converse about them, but it's something about creating a moment for people where they can go and say, you can say, hey, come here with
To
your
watch.
cell phone and watch this.
I hope. Are you listening?
Listening to this, we need to
Are
talk
you
after
listening?
this.
Because this is a double hit. Because I say this all.
So and it's just like it's nothing that's gonna beat it. Like so, I always talk about people who are social media hip hop followers and actual hip hop followers.
Ooh,
So the difference
Please break
is
it down.
so hip hop is a culture that's lived. Like you have to experience it. Like there are certain nuances. Like let's take, I guess, one of the most popular forms, like strip club culture. If you've never been to a strip club on a random Tuesday, you really don't know what strip club culture is about because on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it's a show.
Yeah.
If you go in there on the off day, like just to go eat the wings, and you know what I'm saying, just to eat the Alfredo,
It's a different vibe.
you don't know. And then
It's
like a
just
lot of people
like
don't
the
know
wings.
that a lot early, like maybe from 2010 to like 2015, there were a lot of popular chefs that are now like nationally recognized, world renowned chefs that came out of strip clubs. in Houston in the Atlanta area. So it's kind of one of those things where like if you're not living that, you won't know that. Yeah. So then if you just tweeting about it, you won't know like Onyx wings is untouchable.
You didn't experience them.
You know what I'm saying? They're untouchable. And so when people are like, oh, I love Wingstop wings, and it's like, the Wingstop's straight. Like if I can't get to Onyx, that's straight.
I ain't been to Wingstop. Like, if I can't get to them,
if I can't get to Onyx.
Like they're straight. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? And it's kind of like the same thing with hip hop. Like we have a lot of people commenting on hip hop who aren't living the culture. Like if you've never. I like dangerous shows. I remember when I was 16 and I went to Thug Motivation 101 tour at the Ava Center to see Jeezy. And I felt in danger. And I survived as a 16-year-old.
And that was a whole move for you.
Like that was
a whole rush vibe.
Like it was like
I survived.
It was just like a thing of like it was like every gangster, every killer in the city in the Ava Center at one time. I'm 16, I'm not even supposed to be here.
I personally don't like it. I don't like being around the type of vibe. Why? Because people be doing the most for no reason.
But you have your vibes. Like you have your different type of vibes.
No, you do.
You've got your smart center vibes, and then you've got your smaller venue vibes. Like, cause I'm that way. Hip hop, I like lyricists, and like mostly every person I want to listen to is like from New York and Washington. I like that underground stuff. But like the difference. So like for me, PJ.
Yeah.
PJ can play it at Smart Center. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I like him when he's like at those smaller venues.
Indeed.
Because
for
me, it's more intimate, and then I can like really listen to the music, all the lyrics and everything that I've been waiting to hear him play as an extended track. He's playing it live. They gonna loop back into it. We all gonna sing along.
Like when you in those small areas, and you talk about danger. Like it's one way in and one way out.
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing. Like even when dealing with, women, like I like a woman who could really hold her own. Like I like a woman who, like in those situations, she's just doubt. Like, know what I'm saying. I like a woman who's just giving dudes a hard time in the club. Like I like her. You know what I'm saying?
I tell Charmaine all the time. This is why my whole life I wasn't approaching nobody in public. I wasn't finna give you the benefit of the doubt to embarrass me in front of all these people.
See, you don't like you gotta.
I would never make it.
But you don't get embarrassed. You just respect it.
See, if you
when to approach.
I'm not getting chopped up.
If you meet with respect, you get respect.
Oh, I always meet with respect.
Or you just gotta finesse, and then like the finesse.
Finesse.
But see, when you got this cow lick, when you ball on that third day,
like
it be you be out of there.
I'm not talking finesse in the manner. I'm not talking the finesse in the manner of like deep manipulation. I'm just like in that moment, like how can I quickly get these walls down?
Yeah.
So like what I'm saying, you take a beautiful woman in the club. Hey, I think you got something in your nose real quick. Like it's like,
hey, that's another way
not
to approach
cute.
it. Hey,
I feel like,
but like,
broke that wall down.
But you gotta have that napkin because every dude is approaching with, "Oh man, you fine." Now you have literally
gotta do something different.
You have turned her into the baddie with all of the makeup on to
something in her nose.
To the girl with something in her nose.
So you had to degrade her and make her feel 2 notches down to bring her to your level.
He's on to something.
It's called balance. So
he's on to something.
So even like even in
this is called the Houston mentality of men.
No, because even with that toxicity, like the healthy relationship that will follow after will balance all of that out.
Because she started with humility, embarrassment. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
Because we all gotta be humble.
I want everyone to know this is what it takes for you to actually be successful when it comes to being on air. You've got to learn how to finesse in life so that you can finesse people on air. That's really what it is. It's the same principle.
Because
I want everybody to just be cautious of that.
Because just to be honest, like even like in my approach, like I like to be transparent with how I got here, and I tell people I was like, man, how did you make this happen? And I was like, I do not know. Like
we all don't know.
This is what happened.
None of us know.
And this is what happened, and this is what I did, and it led to this opportunity, and I was prepared at that time.
Yeah.
Like I don't have this like magical thing going on. Like a lot of people like to present themselves like I'm popping. Like I'm not. I'm regular.
Mine says your favorite average guy.
What?
Because I don't believe, like, I'm me, bro. Like, I'm cool with everybody, spit it all out. Like, it just is what it is. I think it's just the good vibes, like you said.
Because, like, last year when I quit my job, and I was like, I'm going to just be an entrepreneur, and I'm going to figure this thing out. And, what happened after that, nobody could have told me that was gonna happen. Cause like me and my brother started a consulting firm, and so we started this business. And our older brother was like, "Yo, I see y'all trying to start this business. I'm gonna pay the rent. Y'all pay the rest of the bills, and we're gonna get it how we live." And so we then end up meeting, like through me playing football, we end up meeting athletes, just me moving around. We started meeting other artists and stuff like that, helping them with online content, so forth and so on. We got linked in with a plant-based company and started doing stuff for them and all of that. And people were just like, "Oh man, y'all popping now." And it's like, no, I'm still in Mo City and
still struggling
like,
every day.
I'm still, you know what I'm saying, I'm still trying to put it together. But it was like one of those things where I knew I had to do it. Like, had I kept working, I would have never figured it out. Never. Like, and I think that stress of like just jumping out the window is what I needed.
That just like made me think of something. Like, how do you really give back once you make it?
I was just about to ask that. What do you do, or how do you hone in all the opportunities and everything that has been given to you, and give that to the people?
See, I have to, and that's my another thing. Like, I have to trick people, kind of.
What do you mean? Trick them into being better?
So, like,
some people you do.
So, like, take my ugly sweater party, for instance. My ugly sweater party is a party that I came up with because I wanted to throw an ugly sweater party. Like, people wanted me to start throwing parties again. And I was like, cool, but if I do it, I don't want to make any money off of it. Because I'm making enough money off of other stuff that, like, I just don't want to make money off of parties. Plus, parties is...
This party.
It's a party. So, the first one we did, I was like, the admission is going to be 10 canned goods or 3 toys. And then, like, they got to be good toys, because if not, we tax you at the door. And then if you don't bring toys or canned goods...
You're paying that cover charge.
And then the cover charge is, like, undisclosed. So, meaning if...
$100.
So, like,
no, I ain't coming in.
Like, I remember one time I was at the door, and the dude was like... I'm talking about he was Gucci down. And my brother walked up and was like, "Oh, no, he a hundo, off top." And the dude was like, "What?" I was like, "It's going to be $100 for you to get in, partner."
Oh, my God.
And the dude was like, he looked in and he looked at us. He looked in. He was like, he paid that $100. And I was like, bet. So it was like trying to create an environment to where, like, even, like, I could have took advantage of the situation and made money, but I just wanted to be able to...
That's real.
To give back, because like that's really what it is. And like I don't necessarily believe in just like, hey, here's something, like here's what you need, like here's a check. It's like, what do I do with that check?
So do we create something for like everybody to join? Because you know you can't please everybody, so somebody's always gonna have something to say. So trying to actually find out what it is to do to, like, okay, I came out of this community, like what can I do to give back to this community? Like, it's so many programs that's already done. Like, what is it that you physically really can do to make everyone around you feel like, hey, he's actually doing something?
I think this is a start. I mean, being able to, because like you said, now you see so many different parties and things that are self-promoted, and people just getting, outside of paying their team, like they just sitting on money, but it's not going anywhere within the community. But how did you end up getting connected with NBUF and Brothers?
Yeah. So Brothers Organized for Change. So my brother's part of Brothers Organized for Change, which are, I guess, like, I don't know how to describe it. Well, I'm gonna just describe it how I know. It's ex gang members and ex people who are affiliated with the streets, just doing stuff in the streets.
That's awesome.
And a lot of it is centered in like diffusing situations. So like they'll hear about something that's going on in the streets, and there's some bloodshed going on, and it's like let's get these people in the room. Hey, we're not telling y'all to not do what y'all doing. We're not telling y'all we're not giving y'all the spiel. Just, hey, can y'all be peaceful about this? Is there something that we can do? Be
smart about it. Yeah.
You know, and it was like, and it's a thing like, because Brothers Organized for Change are from that, then they can talk to those people. And so they're helping out families who are in those situations and helping them move around and be in better places, and they're adopting families for Christmas, and that's where the toys are going to.
Is this like a new organization?
Yeah, I mean, they for about 3 years now.
Because I've never heard of it, and that's a great. I feel like
and that's another thing. There's so many different organizations within the city that no one hears about.
Yeah.
They're really affecting change and they're making a big difference in the community, but we don't hear much about them.
We got to link that one up because I definitely want to talk.
Indeed, and then InBuff, they were doing. So originally, I was doing this with the food bank, and then I went to an InBuff. They were doing a Feed the Hood event in our sophomore and third ward, and I pulled up on them. Loved the event, and they were having problems getting donations. So this year, I was like, all right, bet, like, I'm gonna donate everything that we get from the Ugly Sweater Party to InBuff, and that's the National Black United Front. Yeah. So that's kind of what they're doing, kind of what they sent it in. That's dope.
So people who are trying to get to this party, give us information. It is December
21st at Darwin's Pub in the Heights. Just have an ugly sweater. You don't really have to have an ugly sweater, but you must have canned goods, and you must have toys. Yeah.
What's the amount of canned goods?
10 canned goods.
10 canned goods.
And
not expired.
Not expired.
We're not playing with you guys. Not
playing
busted.
at all.
Who would do
no
that?
beat. Trust me, people.
Then like don't come with the poo poo toys either. Like the dollar store toys, we not.
Yeah, with Barbie, as soon as you sneeze on her arm pops off.
No. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that.
Like no, not at all. Like
Puzzles
we need
don't
real
count.
toys.
Do not bring them toys in here. Like
You know
Chess, not checkers.
Yeah, you feel me?
We are not playing with you.
And so yeah, like that's what we on.
What's the name of it? Is it My Ugly?
It's just the ugly, like From My Ox to Yours presents the Ugly Sweater Party.
Okay, cool.
And so like it was really like literally nothing big to it. I was just like, this is what I wanted to do. And then so performing also is gonna be 40 Acres and Izar Thomas. They're gonna be performing. And that's another thing I wanted to do was like showcase artists that weren't getting shows. Yeah. And I wanted to be able to put them on the show. And I wanted to be able to get them money.
It's a lot, man. You know when you do things like that, like you still have to be about your business when you come, because at that point anybody come and don't have none of their stuff ready, and I'll be like, yo.
But see, like, and that's the thing too is like I'm willing to sit down with an artist. Like all of the artists last year, I sat down with them and said, hey, how many people can you bring? And I said, all right, cool. I sat everybody down and I said, this is if you all can bring this amount of people, you all will be splitting this amount of the pie. But what they didn't know, it was a whole pot. Like I negotiated a bar deal for them to get paid. Yeah. Oh, that's like dope. I literally didn't make any money off of the event. Like I'm not gonna make any money off of this event this year.
I honestly think you should keep doing that one because that's a good. I feel like that's a
and that's another thing that that's made me start with the artist was. I remember managing the artist and us trying to figure out how to pay $200 to get on the show, and I was like, man, like this person is making. So you get to this show and it's like 40 people and you think like, man, 40 people pay $200, man, hey, and these people can't really afford this $200 to perform, and it's not really a platform because it's artists and artists. You're not actually getting these artists in front of consumers. Yeah, like that's not how that's supposed to go. Yeah, so that's another thing that made me start the party.
That's awesome. So if somebody's interested next year in either partnering with you, sponsoring, or if they want to perform next year, how do they get in contact with you?
Y'all can get at me from my ox to yours at gmail.com, or y'all can get at me on ox.cord.whisper on IG and just DM me.
And how do we follow you?
Well, there in ox.cord.whisper on IG, Cobb Alexander on Facebook, and Cobb Alexander _ on Twitter.
Don't follow him on Twitter. I just want y'all to know. You're going to get into all his thoughts. No, don't follow him on Twitter.
I know how to use Twitter, but I've been out of the loop for so many years.
Yeah, G's not good at this. I gave him this glorious shout out on Twitter like 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't until Saturday I was like, yo, I gave you a shout out. Just didn't know if you cared.
I didn't know.
Like Logan Charmaine saved me from a bad day.
I did.
Yep, just told me to just sit down somewhere.
That's not how I said it. I was trying to let him know, your spirit is telling you to chill out.
And that made me happy because, you know what I mean, like a woman. You know what I mean?
You need people like that.
Accepting and receiving my vulnerability. Like, it's hope out here. Like,
and that is a whole nother discussion that we will have. We're going to bring you back because I want to talk about that because he made a post on Twitter talking about they say they want us to be vulnerable, but they don't really mean that. And we're going to talk about that later.
That is true, though.
It's not true.
That is true.
You don't believe in vulnerability, so it's not like they're going to get it from you.
I mean, I believe in vulnerability.
And you don't believe we want it, which is not true.
No, but like, and the reason I came up with this was because me and my brother are actually trying to do a project where we are like redefining masculinity for ourselves and like taking out all the toxic traits and yada yada yada, being emotionally aware and mature, all of that. And so what we came up with was like, in order to be a provider and a protector, like you have to be emotionless at some point. And so if women are saying that is a standard, then they want you to be emotionless. So your vulnerability doesn't have a place.
But didn't you just say balance earlier?
I did say balance.
I feel like we're getting a whole new discussion.
But that's balancing in women and
but when
the
you think
feminine
about
and
it, you're
masculine.
kind of right though.
I'm talking about the masculine. We haven't got to the feminine. I'm just talking about masculinity and how toxic we've been over the years. So,
because he made a valid point. To protect you have to be
emotionless
at some point in time.
You don't have to be emotionless.
No, in order to protect and to provide, in a capitalism itself makes you emotionless. Like you can't have emotion in capitalism. Like it's not set up.
You'll lose. You'll make the wrong move every time.
It's not set up that way.
See, this is the type of discussions that you have and that you can look forward to when you listen to Cobb on 90.1. From my Oxyors, thank you so much for chilling with us here on 92 Kels.
You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.